Destruction of health facilities in opposition-controlled areas of Syria are nothing new. Over 12 years of war, hospitals and clinics there have been deliberately bombed hundreds of times by pro-government forces. When the earthquake struck in February, more than 50,000 people were killed across Turkey and Syria, almost 5,000 in the opposition-controlled areas. But more than 4 million people live in the rebel-held northwest, and 90% of the population depend on aid to survive. Idlib itself is now home to 3.5 million of them, more than half displaced from other areas to makeshift camps. Most are women and children. Last month, the UN launched a $397 million appeal to help, but so far, less than half of that has been pledged. The Northwest has got the least and waited the longest.
Unfortunately, aid didn't enter before around the 5th or 6th day, and all that entered on the 7th day was very limited. It didn't cover even 5% of the needs, maybe less. In all honesty, the catastrophe was much more than we can fathom and much more than our supplies. What we had in storage was used in the first 24 hours.
Getting aid into opposition-controlled areas has been hard, with limited land crossings from Turkey and the refusal of some rebel groups to allow help in from government-run territory. But some medical organisations have managed it. This group of American doctors drove into the Turkish-controlled zone east of Idlib. They brought in much-needed high-tech hospital equipment and are carrying out often life-saving surgery on earthquake survivors.
If there's a vulnerable person saying, oh, you deserve better than this,
Coping with trauma training sessions are also being given to local medics by US psychiatrists who form part of the team, with mental health now as important as physical after 12 years of war and then earthquakes.
One of the things that was really different from other disaster areas that I've worked in Nepal and in Bangladesh and in Greece, is that usually mental health takes a back seat during disasters, immediate disasters, after disaster, because it's more about shelter, food. But this time it was different.
What is it? This Syrian doctor is one of more than 30 in Britain who are desperate to help in northwest Syria. But he says that although the UK has given many millions in aid, the British government hasn't done enough to help volunteer doctors like them gain access.
So to facilitate these medical missions, we require the UK government to work closely with the Turkish authorities to grant the required authorization for UK doctors to go to northwest of Syria. Second, the UK embassy to provide logistical support in Turkey. And third, for doctors when they come back to the UK, so they do not face difficult times by the UK, by the Home Office and the relevant authorities here.
In Idlib, concern is growing for the many badly injured earthquake survivors in urgent need of specialist treatment.
We expect more and more rapid response. There were a very delay of receiving this help or aids for us.
That must have cost lives.
Of course, the people's life will pay for this.
But for now, the wait goes on for the tens of thousands of people who don't have much time.